Hey future trucker, Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy, and in today's video we're going to be discussing how an average truck driver in New Jersey makes more money than the average worker, and by a whole lot. So current stats show that the average worker in New Jersey makes about $76,000 per year, and that drops down dramatically to about $35,000 per year if anybody does not have a college degree. Comparing that to truckers on a national average basis, the average truck driver makes about $82,000 per year. But if you look at just in the state of New Jersey, the average trucker makes about $95,000 per year, where the top truckers are currently making around $150,000 a year. So now you might be thinking, why is there such a huge range of how much money you can make with the CDL license? Well, that's the thing that most people don't realize. You can have the same license, but doesn't mean you're going to make the same amount of money. So our team has broken down 6 main factors that can determine whether you're going to be on the lower range or making multiple 6 figures as a truck driver. So make sure you watch to the end of the video, because this can mean thousands of dollars in your pocket at the end of the year. The first main factor that most people have to realize is going to be the experience, right? So when you're coming right out of school with no experience, of course you're going to be on the lower level. You don't have any experience, you're much higher risk for any company to bring you on, which means your rate's going to be lower, just like anything else in life. But the more experience you have, the easier it is to make more and more money. The whole idea of the first year in trucking is not, hey, how can I get rich in 1 year? It's going to be, how do I set myself up with a foundation where I can get rich for sure? It's not get rich quick, it's get rich for sure. So how do you do that? Making sure that you're taking the lessons that you learned from your driving school. If you want to come to the best CDL school in the country, come to Driving Academy. We'll give you all the foundational knowledge that you need to make sure you stay wealthy. And that being said, if you stay your first year, your second year, your third year accident-free, and you're doing what your company asks you to do, you're just going to constantly see an increase in your salary year over year over year. The second main factor is going to be the type of license you're getting. So there's 2 types of licenses out there. There's going to be a CDL Class A and a CDL Class B. With the CDL Class A, it gives you the access to drive the bigger tractor trailers, which means you have a lot more flexibility. CDL Class B means you're driving smaller box trucks, as an example. Now, if you just look at these 2 types of vehicles, this one can hold a lot more things. That being said, if it can hold a lot more things, the company can charge a lot more for transporting it, and you can make a lot more money doing it. Pretty simple stuff. The other cool thing about Class A is you have the ability to drive any type of Class B vehicle, so it gives you the flexibility there, and you can actually get flexibility on the types of routes you're taking. Which brings us to factor number 3, which is going to be the type of routes you're going to decide to take. Now there's 3 main routes that you can take once you get a CDL license. Number 1 is going to be local, which means you're going to be home on a daily basis. You're going to get paid by the hour, so you can still make great money, but you're going to have a lot of home time. So depending on how important that is to you, that is an option. The next option is going to be regional, which means you're going to be driving within your region, home on a weekly basis, but you're going to get paid by the mile. Here, because you're going to be driving more, you're going to make a little bit more money than you would have if you stayed local. But if you want to make the most amount of money possible, this is where you want to go over the road. Over the road, you're going to get paid by the mile, you're going to be home on a monthly basis, and you're traveling across the country. So if money is exactly what you're after and you love to travel, that is the best path forward for you, especially if you're coming right out of school. Now again, once you have about 3 to 5 years experience, you can make the same money local, because now you're going to be a lot more specialized in the types of work that you're going to be doing on a local basis, and the companies are willing to hire you because you have a lot more experience with no accidents on your record. Now you see how all these things kind of start meshing together, but this brings us up to point number 4, which is going to be the type of freight that you're going to be transporting. So just think about it. If you're transporting a roll of toilet paper, that's going to pay differently than maybe transporting hazardous material or oil. Think about it. The more risky something is, or the more responsibility you have to transport that item, the higher it's actually going to pay. So if you're transporting a bunch of Ferraris from New Jersey to Florida, that load's going to pay you a lot more than if you're just transporting, like I said, toilet paper from New Jersey to California. So you just have to keep that thing in mind as you're deciding which type of work you want to do. Now, if you just have a basic license, that doesn't mean you can transport anything you want. Think about it. If you want to transport oil or hazardous material, you're going to need number 5, which is going to be add some endorsements. If you really want to jump in pay, adding endorsements to your license just makes you more valuable. So what does that mean? That gives you the ability to transport more things, like I was talking about before. If you want to transport maybe oil tankers, you're going to need to add 2 endorsements. It's going to be a tanker endorsement and a hazardous material endorsement. Again, you're becoming more professional. you're taking a higher risk job, which means the pay will go through the roof for that as well. And you're taking on more responsibility as well. So more responsibility with better experience means more money in your pocket. And the last factor that's going to determine how much money you make is going to be the company you work for. Not all companies are designed equally. You're going to have the huge big companies out there that are more standardized on how they pay their drivers. And then you're going to have the smaller regional or maybe mom and pop shops out there that are willing to hire you if you have an experience and potentially do something like profit sharing. Now, just because you're doing the same job, if you have one company to another, it can be a completely different paycheck. All depends on how you design your actual work. Are you going to get paid by the mile? Are you going to get paid by the load? Are you going to get paid by the hour? All those things are different factors that you should decide before you sign on with that company. A pro tip when you're deciding which type of company to go after, just ask them simply, what's the average truck driver make in the route that you're giving me? And then ask them, what are your top truck drivers making? And find out who they are and befriend them, because you want to do exactly what they're doing so you can earn what they're making. And once you have the conversations with them, now you can make an informed decision on, hey, is this company the one for me? So now that you know that you can make a boatload of money in trucking, you're going to be like, okay, are all the jobs taken? And that is where you're wrong. Just in New Jersey alone, there's over 5,000 trucking openings right now, which means we need 5,000 people today to actually get their CDL license and get hired. And there's also thousands more when you look at New York, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. So getting your CDL license today might be the best option for you to actually walk away in designing the future that you want. You can make as much money as you want, drive where you want, and all that's stopping you is getting your CDL license. So the best thing to do now, come to the best CDL school in the country here at Driving Academy by visiting our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, and find the location that's nearest you. From there, we can actually show you a few different ways on how we can help. The first thing is we're super affordable. $500 down is all you need to get started, and we can work out an interest-free payment plan for the rest. We're also open up 7 days a week, which means we can work around the schedule that fits your needs. And we have guaranteed training courses, which means we're going to give you over 100 hours of training plus unlimited tries at the road test. So what are you waiting for? Check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, and find a location near you today.
If you want to get your CDL, Driving Academy is here to make that process simple. We'll help you pass your permit, train behind the wheel, and prepare you for real-world driving with days and night classes 7 days a week. Start with only $500 down with interest-free payments and get lifetime job placement assistance to help you get hired fast. Visit cdldrivingacademy.com and let's help you get started on your road to freedom today. If you like this video, I know you're going to love this one too. And of course, subscribe. And if you're ready to get started, click on the link below.